Welcome to our usual hovers. I'm Meeka Nomicon, and today complete with the game Blood and Tea. We're about to receive a very special guest, so it only makes sense for us to serve a very special drink. Okay, I've got all the things ready. Rubbing alcohol, cotton balls, tissues, plaster. Oh, how can I forget? Tea! It's that time of the season where I will host my humble afternoon tea in my humble apartment. Yes, an afternoon tea at 8 p.m. 8 bloody p.m. An afternoon tea. Oh, I'm gonna assume he's late then if we're sighing. I don't know if it's intuition or that we've done this so many times already that I just know, but I walked to the front door, holding the handle for a few seconds and then opening it. Oh, there you are. What nice red eyes you have. Ah! There he is, my awaited guest. It does not seem like we were coincidentally trying to open the door at the same time. Hello. How are you? I look at him judgingly as I cross my arms. I do believe you're late, sir. Sorry. Have you been standing in front of my door for 5 minutes? It was 10, actually. 11. So? Why are you still standing there? Are you waiting for me to let you in? Oh, I'm betting he's a vampire. That will explain the eyes. And why he can't enter our house without being invited in, right? Yes. I thought you said that you don't need to get the host's permission to enter buildings. I don't. It's just common courtesy, you know? Even though normally you don't spend 11 to 12 minutes waiting for me to get you. He doesn't answer. Is it because we're doing that today? He continues to be silent. Wait, what is that? Well, okay, I can give you permission. Actually, I kind of want to just pull him in and see what would happen. Let's try it. I quickly grabbed one of his wrists with my right hand, then closed the door behind him with my left. Oh, just come here, would you? Oh, but wait! I pull him towards the inner part of my apartment. I can't see his face, as he was behind me, but I could hear him a bit startled and feel him stumbling. Ouch! Please let go! Here, you're finally inside. Wasn't so hard, was it? Yeah. Oh, he is okay. I guess he really doesn't need permission then. Or maybe the fact I dragged him inside, that's implied permission and it's good enough for a vampire to enter. As he enters the living room, he turns his gaze to the table between the two sofas that faced each other, noticing the items I had put there earlier. Gosh! Oh, these! I told you that you really don't have to prepare. I've brought all the necessary items myself. It's me who's asking the favor. Wait, what favor? Wait, they were all injury items, right? Is he gonna be drinking my blood? But it's all the treatment for myself. Oh, he's definitely gonna drink my blood. Well, yeah, but I'm the one who... I'm the host. I invited you to have a drink. And hosts should serve their guests well. Oh, would you look at that? There's also tea. Wow. Like it's any surprise to you that I've also prepared tea. That smell. So, pumpkin-y. Spicy? I don't know the proper vocab in English. It's pumpkin spice tea. Hey, he got all the components there. I feel like that's close enough. Oh, very in season, I see. They said that it's good for your heart and blood circulation. Oh, I see you've also prepared some very cute candies. Are these for the trick-or-treating kids? Now I'm surprised if they will even come to your door. Sugar, for a quick energy replacement. Also, that one is dark chocolate, which has iron. Let's drink the tea before it gets cold, shall we? Aww. Are you feeling awkward about me needing to replace my blood levels? You hate cold tea, don't you? I do hate cold tea, but I just want to point out it's for the blood circulation. Ah, well, sure, yeah. He slowly takes his seat on the sofa in front of me. He observes the tea for a few seconds before taking it in a rather shivering manner and sipping it very lightly. I'm guessing that he's avoiding eye contact, as I am also enjoying my tea. We both sit in silence. Why are you so nervous? It doesn't sound like this is the first time you've taken my blood. Nervous? I'm not nervous. It's nothing, you know? Actually, it's the usual thing, you know? Oh, there's nothing to be nervous about. Stop overthinking. Just drink more of the tea. I'm sure it will make you more relaxed. It works for me. Yeah, you're right. Relaxed. Pumpkin spice tea, is it? I didn't know you liked pumpkins. I'm generally okay with it. My landlord held a pumpkin carving event for some children this morning, and they gave me the excess pumpkin bits in order to reduce food waste. Nice. Don't waste food. Did you cook something with it? Pumpkin stew. That does not sound enjoyable. Then again, nothing pumpkin sounds enjoyable to me. I'm not a big pumpkin person. Oh, sounds tasty. Is that what you had for dinner? Does it have... Yeah, I added beef to it. No worries, I know the drill. Did you also drink a lot of water? I did. And had enough sleep? That one I did not. I know the drill. How many times do I have to tell you? You don't need to keep asking me this every time. Yeah, I'm just making sure. I've done all that you asked. I'm all prepared. Do you not trust me? I do. Okay, all right. So, are we practically starting now? I mean, since the conversation sort of led to it, and I don't want to take any more of your time. So, are you ready? Are you? Well, why ask someone when you're not prepared yourself? I am ready. Good. So, first, the health check. He pulls out a notebook and a pen out of his pocket, then switches to one of the pages. Beef for dinner? Check. How about your lunch? I had... Ooh, chicken. I definitely had chicken. Tuscan chicken. Tuscan... Is that a type of chicken? It's a type of chicken dish. Oh, chicken is good. It's cooked with cream, cheese, although I deliberately cut the amount of those. And then onions, tomatoes, and lots of spinach. That's extremely good. Ah, I can see his little baby fangs. Oh, you're adorable, buddy. It is, and the taste too. I'll cook it for you next time. Really? Thanks, I'd love to try it. He scribbles something on his notebook. Now that I've asked you about food, the next one is about drinks. I know you barely touch any alcoholic beverages. Water, have you been drinking lots of... He abruptly stops his sentence as he glances at me pouring a second refill of my tea. Check. Next, sleep. How many hours did you sleep last night? Perhaps around... What did I get? I think I got about 7. But then again, technically it pushed up to 9 since I did have a nap. I had 9. Oh, that makes it so bad when I say it I'm sleepy, doesn't it? Whoa, that's quite a lot. I don't have work today. Thought I'd spoil my eyes and body. 9 hours is more than enough, and it's not harmful as long as you don't do it every day, so... Wait. Sleeping 9 hours can be harmful? Is that why I'm tired? Am I oversleeping? There's no winning with my body. Well, I guess there's no problem here. Sleep. Check. He looks through the pages of his notebook again. General health condition. I know you don't have any congenital disease or long-term severe sickness. I've checked your hospital sheet too. Oh, you're currently not suffering from some sort of mild illness, right? A cough, a dry throat. No, I'm not too bad. Do I look like I do? Well, you don't, I think. And I still can't figure it out if there is anything, so... Yeah, okay. He checks on his notebook. Okay, and that's it. For the health screening, next is... He takes a deep breath and then exhales it. I can hear him mumbling to himself, as if trying to convince himself something. Okay, let's go to the next part. I know you already knew this, but let me remind you again. Doing it directly is the most convenient, safest, quickest, and least painful way to do it. As much as I myself don't like it. Oh, I'm so tempted to say I like it. Do you think that would scare him away? Oh, I can't resist. I like it. Well, good for you, I guess. Now, if you have understood that, I have to warn you against that this will not be painless, especially during the bite? Yes, the bite. But I will try my best to make it the least painful, although I was facilitated with these. He points to his upper teeth. Unfortunately, it does not come with any sort of numbing anesthetic or healing attributes. Even so, I've been learning healing spells, which means I can only apply a spell to have the newly inflicted scar heal, not to make the whole process painless. Therefore, I am very sorry that we have no choice but to use the good old, alcohol maybe? Or would it be retinol? I'll say retinol. I mean, I think retinol is good for your skin, and you will have a scar there, so, honestly, I don't know if it's even related. I'm not a skincare expert, sorry. What we have to use is alcohol. Oh, damn it, I was right the first time. Just like how they do it in your usual medical practice, right? I will just apply alcohol to the area of the skin and my, thing that I will use to inject, which leads to... I hate to break you, buddy, but if you can't even mention the word bite, I'm not sure you're old enough to bite. My last question before we actually do it. Now, as the one asking the big favor, I want to give you the liberty to pick. Where do you want me to take it from? You know what? I already said I like it, so let's make this as awkward as possible for him. Go for the neck. The neck? That's a bit... aren't your neck cold from the temperature? You should keep it warm. I don't mind. Wow. I've never seen these clothes before. Is it new? I wouldn't want to ruin your new garment. I don't mind. I'm not feeling too confident today. That's a really sensitive area, and I really don't want to make mistakes. I'm already going to hurt you. That's a fact. So I'm definitely not taking the one where the risk of hurting you is higher. Okay, that is a fair consideration. Risked it is then. Thank you for your understanding. I know you've heard this so many times already, but please, let me tell you a few last things before we actually do it. I nod. He takes a deep breath, then glances on his notebook. Please understand that you are able to refrain from doing this at any moment. If you suddenly decide that you want to stop, I will stop immediately. I have told you that during the process, it will not be painless. So if I hear a very little cry from you as a natural reaction from the pain, I have no choice but to ignore it. Is that okay? I nod. However, please let me know if it gets too painful for you. You can raise your voice and scream stop, hit my shoulder, stomp your feet on the floor, or do anything else to get me to notice you. And feel free to squeeze me as tightly as you want to help you bear the pain. I won't complain, so don't hold yourself back. Do you understand? I nod. Lastly, I know you already know the side effects of this, but let me explain again. Well, most clearly anemia, a light one. If things go well, I will only take around a pint. You will naturally recover that volume within a few days. However, a complete recovery of the cells will take a few months. That is why we agreed to do this only once in 3 to 4 months. You may also experience headache, shortness of breath, tiredness, and some other mild symptoms. But I have prepared you medicine to ensure you recover quickly. Aww, he is a considerate vampire. Of course, I will use my healing magic as well. But I'm not so confident in it. It will only work on the externals, the scar on your skin. With all of these in mind, do you still wish to proceed? I nod. It will help me if you say it out loud. Yes. Thank you. Now, finally, please sign here. All of the contents are what I said to you. You can reread it yourself if you want. He hands me his notebook and pen, pointing at a certain spot in the table chart. A chart that I made. I look at my previous signatures and the previous dates. The last time was in May. That's almost half a year ago. As I realize how painful it must have been for him to hold his thirst for that long, I quickly sign the notebook. Thank you. He puts the notebook and pen back in his pocket. He takes a very deep breath again. And lets it out. Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready as well? Yes. He stands up from his seat to move to the seat on my right. First, he takes a bunch of tissues and arranges them tidily to cover his own lap and the sofa where we're sitting. Then he takes one cotton ball, wets it with alcohol, and then applies it carefully to his teeth. After that, he washes both of his hands and with gel hand sanitizer, and then applies alcohol on another cotton ball and holds it to his right hand. Sorry, your hand please. I offer him my left hand. As he is taking it, my body automatically leans towards him. He looks at me for a second, as if saying thanks for my cooperation, or waiting for the reassurance that I am okay with all that he is doing to me. His gaze turns to my left arm that is now above his lap. Using the cotton with the alcohol, he lightly taps and makes a circular motion on my wrist. He sighs. Well, all is done now. Now's to actually do it. He stares at my wrist for almost a minute, until I broke the silence in impatience. You want to get this over with, don't you? I do. Same here. Just a few seconds later, he steadily lifts my left arm from his lap, then quickly pierces my wrist with his fangs. I let out almost voiceless grunt, and that only I could probably hear it. I wonder if he went overboard with the alcohol, or if it's the positioning, or if he managed to do a certain technique that makes it not so painful. Or maybe I'm just used to it. used to see that red liquid running down my arm, coming from the 2 dots that he freshly made for me, and used to being annoyed how that is such a waste, hoping that he can be a bit tidier about it. Well, at least those excess little drops fall to the tissues below, so it's not a mess. And a majority of the blood still falls to his throat anyway, which I could feel it being transferred to his body, very slowly. He's really taking his time. That doesn't always mean that he's taking a lot. I trust him that he will only take the safe amount from me. But he's just doing it so slowly, little by little. It's not like I need to rush, but I don't know. It just feels weird, waiting to let him finish. We both just sit there in silence. Obviously, he's unable to say anything. I don't want to do anything that might break his focus either. I have nothing else to do but stare at him, and then my arm, and then his eyes that are covered by his bangs, then the clock, then the blood, and then tea. The tea! I hesitate for a bit to break the moment, but my impatience wins. Hey, just want to remind you that you still have another drink that you have to finish. He just keeps drinking. It's extremely unusual for him to not notice me. Oh, wait, we said it's been 6 months, right? Has it been too long? Is he gonna keep drinking more than he should? Maybe he's too focused and couldn't hear me. Maybe he's lost in his thoughts. Hey! I tried to shake my arm that he's holding in order to make him notice, but somehow I couldn't exert so much energy into it. Maybe because my energy is being taken away from it instead, and I could really feel it leaving me. From my arms, then my whole limb, my head, and eventually my whole body. Maybe he is taking so long because he is taking so much after all. Or maybe, before my mind automatically makes more deductions of the situation, it decides to fade away instead. And as my vision and hearing gets blurrier, I could faintly see his panicked face and hear him calling my name. But my mind already went somewhere else. I wake up, and I'm feeling oddly fine. Wait, did I die and get turned into a vampire? My breath is short for a few seconds, but it quickly calms down. I scratch my head, thinking that I should feel some sort of dizziness or lightheadedness, but I feel fine. Better even. Maybe he healed me? Ah, right. Him. I quickly remember what just happened, then notice a note that is left on the table in front of me. It says, "I am terribly sorry. I was lost in my thoughts and I didn't realize that I was taking so much." Huh. I was right about him being lost in thoughts. "I immediately gave you a full body healing spell, so you should be fine." I was right about him healing me too. "You lost your consciousness at 08:45. I hope you wake up very soon." I look at the clock. I was unconscious for around 1 minute. How the heck did he manage to heal me, write all this note, and leave within that time? Unless I've been asleep for 24 hours and 1 minute. "These are the things you need to know." The note continues with a very long post-blood donation to-do list that you could easily find on the internet. And in the end, it continues. "Forgive me that I immediately have to leave. Doing a big magic spell rapidly depletes my magic power, which you know where that came from." From consuming blood. Does this mean that all we just did was for nothing? "And I don't want to hurt you again, ever. So this shall never happen again. I'm sorry." I wonder what he meant by this. Is he over draining thing? Or the donation in general? I sip my tea as my mind digests everything he has said on the note. And before I knew it, I ran out of tea. Oh, bad end too. Out of tea. The worst of all endings I could possibly get. What was it we just don't answer him? We just stare at him in judgment. Sorry. Do you reckon if we just let him be, he would probably just leave? So we don't give him permission to enter, we don't pull him in ourselves. I'm curious. After an impatient tapping on my heels, I turn my back against him, then start walking deeper inside, expecting that he would just follow soon after. I was already a few feet away when I hear my apartment door closing and the sound of his steps starting. Oh, so he followed us after all. Wasn't so hard walking inside, was it? Yeah. You know what? Let's just cut straight to the chase, shall we? Let's go straight to the other drink. What drink? Oh, you know, my blood. Gosh, you can just stop pretending. I'm sick of it. We both know what you're here for. You agreed to it. Even if I had to force you a bit, you agreed. What are you even so scared of? Me? My blood? Drinking it? Yourself? I've told you 1,000 times already that it's fine. I'm more scared of seeing you so painfully enduring your thirst. So just take it. I think we might have pushed too hard. He is definitely gonna leave. I just remember that I am actually needed at the palace at this hour, at 8:30, yeah. I am terribly sorry, but I must take my leave. I am needed somewhere else. Thanks for the invite, though. Great tea. You didn't even have any tea, did you? He quickly turns away, then dashes his way to the front door. I just stand there in silence, not trying to do anything. He opens the door, then glances at me briefly. I'm sorry. Wow. Think I managed to scare a vampire. The door closes. The sound of the shut is quite abnormal for me to hear, as it came from his seemingly pale and weak body. What great tea. He hasn't even tasted it. Now, how am I going to finish all these tea by myself? I sip the one that's already in my hand. It's cold. Bad end one. Cold tea. I feel like this was a guide on how to scare vampires. Am I really this terrifying? Maybe we should try being nice to him next time. You know what I'm thinking now, then? If there is actually an ending we can get that allows him to drink from our neck, maybe it's going to have something to do with how nice we are to him. Because I was picking rather mean options on that first one, wasn't I? Okay, so what was it we just ask where he is, so we can just say we're worried about him. You know what? It's fine. I understand being anxious outside the door. Nice. Are you? I'm okay. I'll accommodate you this time. I give you permission to enter my apartment. I let out a sigh. Please, come in. It's okay. Thank you. He walks past me. As I reach my arm to close the door, I quickly follow until we arrive at the living room. Okay, we'll go along with it. We do hate cold tea. I mean, the only good cold tea is when it's deliberately iced. I know you do. You got me. Let's do it your way. Then, if you'll excuse me. He slowly takes his seat on the sofa in front of me. He observes the tea for a few seconds before taking it in a rather shivering manner and sipping it very lightly. You know what? I I won't point out the fact you're nervous. I'll just ask you how your tea is. Huh? The tea? Yeah. It's nice. Really? Glad you like it. I brewed it myself to fit our tastes. You know. It's very nice, actually. Did I put blood in his tea? Exquisite. Marvelous. Stupendous. Extraordinary. I feel there's an over-compliment for my tea. Where did all that vocabulary come from? No, really. Now I notice the sweetness is just right to my personal liking. You always get the measures spot on. I can't say that I am not at least a little bit flattered. I think I would prefer a latte, though. Yeah, I'm with you on that regards. Oh, or a frap. Fraps are good. Oh, I should have known. No worries. Nah, I know you like less sugar and milk. Milk? Well, if you're that eager to get it right, you can just make it next time. I will. Mark my words. Thanks. Then I'll be looking forward to it. We both take a sip of our tea at the same time. It relaxes you, doesn't it? It does, yeah. Pumpkin spice tea, is it? I didn't know you liked pumpkins. Yes, don't worry, I've followed all of your rules. That's great. And I'm ready when you are. Okay. Take your time. No, you've been patient enough. So let's do it. Well, if you say so. He takes a deep breath and then exhales it. I'm ready. So first, the health check. Oh, I think I picked Caesar salad. I thought you said you knew the... Well, it's okay, I suppose, since you had red meat for dinner. He scribbles something on his notebook. Now that I've asked you about food, the next one is about drinks. I'll say about 7 hours. That should be like the good answer, right? Because I think you were saying that 9 was a bit too much. Nice, the ideal. I always try to have that much. Don't want to look more tired than I already am. Oh, has something been tiring you? I'm not sure which one's the good answer here. They both sound rather mean. You've been making it. How about just you? Sorry. Relax. I was just a joke. Oh, I see. A joke. Funny. Sleep, check. How about just nothing worth mentioning? Great. Nothing that you think is worth mentioning. That means it's something that is not worth mentioning. Which is good, yeah? He checks on his notebook. Don't worry, I understand there might be a little bit of pain. Thank you. Oh, I feel like the bite was when we were teasing him, right? So, the initial step of the thing we're doing might be the nicer way to move him along. Yes, exactly. But I will try my best to make it the least painful. Alcohol was the correct answer, right? When we were numbing the area. That's right. Just like how they do it for your usual medical practice, right? I will just apply the alcohol to the area of the skin and to my, the thing that I will use to inject. So do you reckon we've been nice enough to him to go for the neck? I feel like we should try it again. Are you not okay with it? Well, if I may ask, why did you choose that area? I guess because it's the most comfortable for me. But it's relatively the riskier option compared to doing it on the wrist. Yes, but I'm not sure, actually. There, I just feel more warm, at ease, relaxed, and just generally better. Would the neck necessarily be any safer than the wrist? I mean, both have arteries that can make it highly dangerous to drink from, right? Maybe due to the position, it releases those happy hormones, or whatever you call it. Who knows? I see. But I'm aware the last time we did it there, it didn't seem to me that it was a very good experience for you. Let's not leave the decision up to me. Please consider yourself too. This is a two-people agreement. Are you comfortable taking it from there? It's not uncomfortable in the technical sense. It's just, okay, maybe it is sort of technical. Maybe. Like emotionally. Wait, it's emotional, I think. But I also feel, I don't feel like I understand. Huh? I couldn't properly explain my reasons either, could I? If it makes you uncomfortable, then it makes you uncomfortable. You don't have to explain, and I have no right to force you to. Do you feel like he's gonna go for the neck regardless? I mean, this is definitely a different interaction. He shut me down quickly last time. Thank you. So, is doing it on the wrist the better option for you? How about the arm? No. What? I've already given you my trust to decide. That's also a decision of mine, isn't it? And I trust your decision. I trust you. And I'm not taking back what I've given. Besides, you've been doing a really, really good job at making me comfortable up to this point, so... Are you sure? I am. Remember, I'm the one asking the huge favor that will require me to hurt you. Actually, I'm the one asking the favor, remember? Because it hurts me to see you so painfully pale, anemic, malnutritioned, dehydrated, and anxious every time we meet. Yet you always refuse to accept my help. Sorry, am I making you uncomfortable? No, I'm just amused how you're so aggressively caring about me. I like that about you, though. My frowning eyes escape his gaze as I blush a little. Do we have a crush on the vampire? Oh, well, let's do it. But, you know, as always, I have to give you some final warnings. Go ahead. He glances at his notebook. Huh? Why am I speaking in such a formal and stuffy manner to you again? Because you've been acting like a doctor of a small hospital that desperately needs quick and free blood bags, so they target donors using nice words and gifts. Good metaphor, but we're not doctor patients that help each other out because it benefits them individually. We're two people that help each other because we simply care about each other. A bit cheesy, but I'll take it. So, you will just let me sign that? Ah, well... He quickly skims through his notes while muttering to himself. Painless, healing, anemia... Well, we've done this many times before. I'm sure by now you've already memorized all my explanations and questions, haven't you? Well, to be honest with you, I haven't been listening to every word you usually bombard me just before we do it, because I know that I will agree to it, all of it. That's just like scrolling through terms and conditions and just checking that I have read all column. Ah, those websites. Even if I've read all of it, I still don't trust them. But I trust you. That's the biggest difference. Fair. If you were a little less accommodating tonight, I would have tortured you by reading all of my terms and conditions. Wait, that's why you read through them on my first playthrough? Because you were being petty with me? You know what, fair enough, I was being a little bit mean. And I will have you agree to it one by one. Oh, so scary and evil. That'll always be nice to you then. Aw, I don't mind your aggressive niceness too. Then give me that. I snatch his notebook and pen from his grip. He easily releases it, as if letting me take it. On a table chart, I write today's date and then my signature, below many others before it. Thanks for making that chart, by the way. It makes everything much more manageable. Told you so. I return the notebook and the pen back to him. He puts it on his pockets. Thank you. Well then, let's start. He stands up from his seat to move to the seat on my right. First, he takes a bunch of tissues and arranges it tidily on the sofa spot between us. He also puts some on both our laps. He takes one cotton ball, wets it with alcohol, then applies it carefully to his teeth. After that, he washes both of his hands with a gel hand sanitizer. He then applies alcohol on another cotton ball and holds it in his right hand. He gives his looks to me, signaling me to do the next step. I lean my head closer to him. After feeling his hand brushing a bit of my hair to the side, the right side of my neck feels the cold of the alcohol on the cotton, in which he lightly taps and makes a circular motion on. He puts the cotton away, then uses both of his hands on my shoulders and brings me to a position where we're facing each other. Well, this is it. Are you ready? Wait. Yes, what's the matter? It's quite unusual for you to ask me to wait. The collar of my clothes is not unbuttoned enough. The bigger the area that is not covered with clothes, the less risk of it getting stained. Oh, of course. The most important thing. How can I forget about your dislike for stains on your clothes? Even though you are conveniently wearing a black-coloured one specifically for today, exactly to avoid such things from happening. I decide to ignore that remark and continue adjusting my collar. There, that should be fine. You may continue now. Thanks. He takes a deep inhale, then exhales. His right hand reaches to the lower right of my side of my cheek, and I instinctively lean my head towards it in order to give space on the other side of my neck. He leans a lot closer, and I can feel his breath on my skin. He gives me one last look, as if asking for one final reassurance of my consent. I answer that look with a little nod and a slow blink. He smiles. Ah! He quickly yet gently pierces his fangs against the vein of my neck. As a natural reaction, my body twitches a little bit. A small hissing sound came out of my clenching teeth as my right hand instinctively squeezes his left arm to help endure the pain. But that's as far as the pain goes. The initial sting lasted no more than a few seconds. What comes after are only feelings of relaxation and content. Instead of feeling my very life force being forcefully taken away from me, it feels more like an act of giving something I have in abundance to someone else who needs it more. It is him that is actually still so tense, despite feeling my own blood flowing so smoothly from my calm heartbeat. I could faintly feel his raging heartbeat just by touching his shoulder. So my right hand moves to embrace his back, giving some gentle strokes to help him relax. It's okay. I'm unsure if that works, but based from the sound of his breath, I can hear from behind my ear. I think it does. I close my eyes as a sigh of relief. He releases himself from me a few minutes later. He was facing downwards in silence for a few seconds, before finally lifting his head to look in my eyes. Wait, did he only drink too much because I was being petty towards him? Thank you. He stands up, walking towards his previous sitting position in front of me. Are you feeling all right? I'm completely fine. Really? Not even a bit of dizziness? Lightheadedness? Well, I'm not sure if I'm feeling a bit tired, or it's just being relaxed. I guess either way, you still need to rest and recover. Now that I've replenished, I have enough magic power to give you a healing spell. Wait. Yes, another wait. What's wrong? Doing magic depletes your magic power, doesn't it? Yes? And you get your magic power from taking blood, yes? Yes? Then tell me why you're using it, if it's going to drain you again anyway. It's just a quick healing spell in a very small area. It will only take a little bit of my magic power. Still, not using it at all will give you longer before you'll have to replenish again, correct? Yeah, but it's not worth it, since healing you is top priority. No, I wanted to heal naturally. Besides, I don't like those magic stuff being forced into me. Yeah, you just willingly let a pseudo-magical being force his fangs into you. Willingly and force don't go together. The donation was consensual. It's a donation. And in blood donations, the doctors don't give you instant magic spells, right? I thought you're the one who likes it to be as humanly as possible. That's a good point, actually. Alright, I won't heal you then with magic. Use this cream though, after the scar has formed and the bleeding completely stops. Daily. Got that. For now, I'll just apply you a medical plaster on it. He leans towards me. Once again, he sanitizes his hands with gel hand sanitizer. He then takes some tissues, then puts a gentle pressure on my neck, with it to stop the bleeding. Let me hold that myself. Thank you. His hands switch to tidying and preparing the medical supplies on the table. So, how was it? What was it? My blood. Ah, you're asking it just like how you did with your tea. Well, both are drinks I brewed and served specifically for you today. That's one way to put it. Well, you know how blood tastes, irony and all. I meant iron E? Iron A? Tastes like iron, not like irony. Well, maybe a bit like irony. I see. It's not, say, perhaps sweet or tasty for you? Unfortunately for me, it doesn't taste nor smell sweet, tasty, good, luxurious, mouth-watering, or whatever delicious vocabulary is. I actually have tried consuming more sugar, just maybe if it could make the taste more bearable for you. Aw, you don't have to do that for me. You've been making it bearable enough. Actually, please don't try to do that at all. Sweet blood can only happen if you actually have diabetes, which is not good. Will eating anything else that's nice work? I'm not sure, but the moment it does, that means you're consuming it too much. And too much is never good for anything. I see. I'm so glad that the sort of supernatural being that I let consume my blood is also an expert in human medical science. Won't let my medical degree go to waste even after all these years. You're kidding. You still remember what you've learned in college? Even after... I think it was the early 1900s. So that means around a century ago, yeah. Oh, hate to tell you, but I'm pretty sure a lot of medical science has probably evolved since the 1900s. I mean, the things I've learned fortunately ended up being very useful to my unfortunately lengthy life. And my brain barely ages too, so I can still remember well. Did you deliberately go to medical school because of your condition? Or because you genuinely have an interest in these things? I did apply for it quite immediately after I was challenged. I wanted to know if there was any way to help my new condition at this time. So, maybe, because I generally have interest in helping my condition. Who knew that the knowledge would continue to help me for years to come? And would lead me to have this special, literal healthy relationship with you? But isn't it only recently? I mean, relatively recently, that you start taking it from humans? Surely you need to relearn some things again. Human? You only? You know I don't... I can't take from other humans. Or other creatures, as a matter of fact. Ah, my bad. And to answer your question of how I still remember it, I don't. I looked up the internet for today's procedures. Ah! I knew the gist of it, of course, but I still need to refresh on some details. Just search what to do before blood donation, after blood donation, iron-rich food, etc. Practical. Besides, I own a blood research company that does blood donations. Shouldn't it be a little bit worrying if I don't know at least the basics? Fair, fair. I was about to ask you your tips on not forgetting things, but never mind that. Because you see, earlier today, I prepared all the things needed for the donation, yet somehow I forgot to prepare for the most important thing. Bloody tea! Bloody tea. Ah! Is it freaking, not actual, yeah? Well, maybe that means you care about me more than your precious tea. Oh, I definitely have a crush on him. No, I mean, pretty sure I'm just starting to get forgetful, like I said. True. Ah, forgetfulness. Aging is so cool. Huh? Gosh, I got so caught up in the conversation that I didn't realize that we were talking about... Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up these... I thought you don't like to talk about your, inhumanity, past, aging, or lack of. Yeah, it feels off that now you're saying that so casually. It's fine. What's a tea time without talking about our backstories, midlife crisis, and fears of the future? But you seemed extremely nervous when you got here earlier. Oh, about that. I'm sorry. I knew I don't have to be nervous around you. It's just, you know, in addition to my usual hesitancy and denial of becoming whatever I become, and the things I don't want but have to do. Before coming here, I saw some children trick-or-treating, and one of them wore a Dracula costume, and they said, "Blair, I'm an evil vampire, and I will eat your blood." And, first of all, the stereotypical Romanian accent can be insulting to actual Romanians. Second, you don't eat blood, you drink it. Even though it brings energy when consumed, blood is not soup. Classic vocab mistake. Okay, but then I would follow up by saying, you don't eat soup, you drink it. Unless it's a chunky soup, then I will admit you're gonna have to chew a little bit. And third, vampires are not like that. I sip my tea in a desperate effort to hold my laughter. Excuse me, it's just a silly little child. I thought you'd like children. I do, but not when they spread misinformation like that. I really need to speak to their parents. Well, to be fair, they might just be role-playing a movie, in which case they are accurately portraying them. I mean, I've seen lots of Dracula movies that go blah blah blah. I'm glad that his own ranting makes him not realize the amusement on my face. Whoops, I ended up complaining to you. Anyway, well, seeing that made me remember of the things I said earlier that I usually don't like to talk about, and it made me insecure, nervous, scared. But now I'm not anymore. You managed to make me comfortable enough to casually talk about it. It's all thanks to you. I'm not even going to explain my reaction to that. Anyway, I think the bleeding has stopped. Great. Now let me clean the wound with an antiseptic for a bit. Sorry, this might sting a little. Done. Now to let it dry a little while I prepare the medical plaster. You are taking this very seriously. And I can feel him sticking something to the right side of my neck. We're done! Is it insensitive for me to hope that my plasters have cartoon vampires on them? I would just love the irony, and I'd love to see his reaction to it. Well, the next thing you need to do for your recovery is to drink lots of water, then get enough sleep. Tomorrow and a few days after, don't forget to eat iron-rich foods and drink the iron supplements I gave you if necessary. Don't do anything too tiring, and stay hydrated throughout the day. I'll message you to remind you of these things. Okay. Well, now that's out of the way, and because you must be tired right now, I'll take my leave so that you can rest. His body leans forward, preparing to get up. Wait! He stops. Huh? Your third wait of the day. What is it? There's still one thing you forgot from my recovery. Huh? Really? I'm sure I told you and given you all the very important things. Oh God, have I finally started losing my memory? Oh my God, am I aging? I hate to break it to you, but it's not that. It's tea. What? Tea. Huh? Well, you shouldn't drink tea with iron supplements, because it will reduce the absorption into the gut. But I guess, if it makes you happy and relaxed. With you. Eh? A tea with you. That's what I need most to recover. Did we just ask him on a date? Aww. Even if he is like 100 years older than me. Like what they say, a healthy mind in a healthy body. My physique is not the only thing I need to recover. Are you just going to strip a sick patient of their needs? Or do you want to be of service? You haven't heard my backstory, midlife crisis, and fears of the future. I'll be on your bloody tea service then. I let out a little chuckle. I reach for the teapot and refill the tea in his cup. He watches and listens as he readjusts his position on the sofa. And yet, here you are serving me instead. This is to make sure you can't run away from your responsibility. Actually, do you know that in some traditional households, in Kyoto, a host serving his guest a certain tea dish implies an indirect social cue that it's time for the guest to leave? Interesting information. But no, I want you to stay. Oh gosh, you're complete opposite of indirect implications. He escapes my gaze and scratches his head. Well then, if that's the case, he takes his cup of tea and leans it towards me. Cheers for the tea! I chuckle, following the same gesture. And blood. Oh, we got the true end! Bloody tea. So I'm guessing our last ending must be another good ending, right? So we got too good, too bad. So maybe if it's just we have a good relationship with him, but then choose the wrist instead? Oh, thank you for picking that area, because it's the normal area doctors usually draw. I mean, I'm just glad that we'll be taking it from there, since it's not so inhuman. Anyways, now that we got every technical thing settled, I know you've heard this so many times already, but please let me tell you a few last things before we actually do it. Oh, this did change the ending. So it's almost identical to our first bad ending, right? But then apparently he listens to us when we try and get his attention. After a few seconds, he slowly releases his mouth from my wrist, then quickly puts a tissue over it to stop the bleeding. He escapes my gaze as he wipes his mouth with the tissue before he turns to me with a smile on his face. You're right, the tea. Before that, let me apply a healing spell on you for a little bit. He closes his eyes to help him focus, taking a deep breath, then releases it. With his palm on my top of my wrist, he seems to be silently chanting his spell on his hand. Not that I know how it works anyway. Before I knew it, I could feel the bleeding had stopped, and the throbbing pain was gone. There! He hands me my hand. After, he stands up and returns to his original sitting position in front of me. Unfortunately, the scar will stay, and it might feel a bit itchy. It's best if you don't touch it with unsanitized hands. This is a special cream to help it disappear. Please apply it daily. And these are special iron pills that will help. Yeah, I understand. The tea is getting cold, you know. Ah, yes, you're right. Don't drink iron supplements with tea, though. We spent the rest of the night finishing the tea I've made. We talked a lot, but it was mostly him info dumping on me the things I have to do after we've just done, and asking me every 5 minutes whether I'm feeling okay. To summarize, he told me to rest well, drink lots of water, and eat iron-rich foods. But somehow, he managed to explain that as if he was reading a medical student's final thesis. At that point, I was literally too drained to be annoyed by his literal lecture. So, I just drank my tea and chewed on some candies. Honestly, I wish he's comfortable with me enough that he will just skip all these technicalities. I'm getting sleepy. Must be one of the side effects. Him calling my name takes me out of my world of inner monologue. Yeah? Do you understand all the things I've just said? I was absolutely listening, so yes I do. I've understood all, even before you said anything to me. Oh, great! Well, if that's the case, I'll be going, okay? It's getting late. That's a peculiar thing for a being of your nature to say. I still need a good night's sleep, you know. Especially after this very draining process. Even though I was the one draining you. He's starting to make bland jokes with that half-hearted laugh again. You better come again for the drinks in 3 months, not later. And make sure to keep them on time. I will. He stands up, walks to my front door after signaling for me to just stay on my seat. Regardless, it's not like I was about to send him off either. My energy is too depleted to stand and walk through the lengthy journey to my front door. I just look at him walking until he arrives there and opens the door. Leslie, I want to give you my biggest thanks. For the blood and tea. Oh, that's the normal ending. So I'm guessing we never actually put any blood in his tea then, since he doesn't particularly like the taste of blood. Which is unideal for a vampire. If you enjoyed that playthrough, I'd really appreciate you could like this video and subscribe to this channel. But have a nice spooky day and I'll catch you next time, guys.